What's up everyone, it's Magic here. So today I'm taking the advantage of this beautiful countryside. Look at the sun, it's almost setting and I have a perfect lens for a sun flare. It's a Leica Summilux 50mm f1.4, so it's a manual focus lens. And the camera is a Sony A7IV, but in between there's Techart new LM-EA9 adapter, which is like a newer version of its previous adapter that will make Leica lenses focus on Sony cameras. So today I'm going to test that. So I'm going to just show you how it works, trying to get the best possible portrait with that backlit right here. Let's go. And also take a look at the design of the new adapter. So it doesn't have the motor that it used to have in the bottom anymore. So there used to be this big, huge motor here beneath the adapter itself. Now there are like 4 motors that are built inside the unit. So there's nothing else, just a round, nice unit. It's supposed to be faster, it's supposed to be quieter, and it's also supposed to support all the newest features of the Sony camera. And also something very fancy, look at the lens cap, or the lens cap of this lens. It does have USB. Bummer, it's a USB, micro USB, so like the old version of USB, but still it has the USB port, and inside it has pins in order to update the firmware of the adapter in the future. So hopefully there's more updates coming, making this unit even better. Okay, so the bunch of the static shots that I got, like, it seems to be working very well. It does track the eye. It does have like somewhat of problems if there's like a harsh backlight. You could see that it was just hunting back and forth, but like seems to be really good in the static scenario. So let's try some walking shots right now. Also for the walking shots, I'm gonna try f2 aperture. So far I was shooting f1.4 exclusively. Now I'm gonna switch to f2.0 just so to see if it works better. All right, so look at this. This is how it works, and this is how it sounds. When you try to focus, it moves back and forth. You see? And doesn't sound. It's a nice, pleasing sound. It's not that bad. And actually, you have to turn the focus to the infinity, and yeah, that's it. That's it. It feels that it's working great. I need to look at the photos because it might look that it's focusing on the eye, but I do feel that in some photos it might be off. So I'm gonna see what is the hit rate, what was the hit rate during this sunset shoot. Let's go to the computer. All right, so this is my editing studio. I'm going to show you the sequences that I was filming, and I marked the images. Green is perfectly sharp, yellow is okay, is like sharp enough to be usable, and red is just out of focus. So the first sequence was this sequence when I was just like kind of searching for a flare. Backlit shot is out of focus, it didn't hit. But then there's a bunch of shots that are perfectly in focus, like this one. Then there's one out of focus. Then there's more perfectly in focus, like this one, and a couple of them like in between. And then looking at the other sequences, like even this one shot from behind, when I'm zooming in, it's perfectly in focus. And then I think two of my favorite shots from this session is this one and this one. Both are perfectly in focus. You can see the eye is perfectly in focus. And then like still looking at the static images. So static poses, one shot, focus on the eye, they all seem to be working really well. Look at this. This is perfectly in focus. Just wait for it to load. Bam, perfectly in focus, perfectly in focus. So very impressive that most of the shots in a controlled scenario, like sort of like a portrait studio shoot, it was like on location, but still, you know, since it was very static, you can see that this like was easy scenario. Even like when the subject was farther away, my wife was farther away, it focused, like, look at this, perfectly in focus on the eye. And if we can look at more of these images, and if I would just sum it up, look at this. From the static shots that I got, don't look at this name of the lens, it's incorrect. The metadata doesn't transfer. So it was all shot 1.4 aperture, 50 millimeters f1.4, so very shallow depth of field. 40 out of 69, so that's like almost 60% of the photos like was perfectly in focus. Then 13 more was like in focus enough. Let me show you an example of what I mean by enough in focus. This one, yellow. So look at this. Let's wait for it to load. Yeah, I think it's loaded. So you can see the focus is actually somewhere here in the hands, but this is perfectly fine. This is a usable image, even though it's not super sharp. So this is what I mean by yellows, like almost in focus. So including almost in focus photos, that would be 53 out of 69, which is like more than 70% of focus, which is very impressive. And then there was like 16 photos that were not in focus at all, just like missed, bam, like this. And you could also see that I was kind of hunting for, like, in some images, certain images, it would, like, the autofocus would just go like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that is the static photos. I'd say very impressive again. But then if we move to the walking shots, like the whole first walking set that I got, like, and like none of it is in focus. I do think, because like the first my wife was walking towards me, I was holding half press shutter all the time, so I was kind of tracking, and she was walking towards me, and like Techart was trying to catch up with me, but yeah, it couldn't. None of these photos are in focus, so that's a bummer. But then when my wife was walking back, that was like the second part of this walking shot, I decided to just like focus and shoot, focus and shoot, focus and shoot. So like quickly just shoot after I focus. Don't half press all the time to track, just try to catch my wife walking. And that is impressive because most of these photos are actually in focus or enough. I'm sorry for this, there's like lots of mosquitoes. But yeah, so look at these photos. Like most of them are in focus or in focus enough to be usable. So what would be my verdict actually with this Techart unit? I like it. I will be using it with my Leica Summilux because it's easier and faster than manually focusing, like specifically if I want to take more than one shot. Sometimes I bring 50mm just for one shot with flare, and then I can manual focus. But if I want to shoot like full session with it like I just did, I can easily do it now with autofocus. So that's impressive. I wouldn't obviously shoot like sports or something very important like, you know, walking down the aisle during the wedding ceremony or anything like that with it. It's not that reliable, but the level of how it performs is similar to what like 5D Mark III would perform, which was like perfectly fine camera for weddings. So I do actually recommend it. It's great. If you have Leica lenses and Sony cameras, the new version of this adapter is great. So if you want to watch more videos on like Leica and Sony stuff, there's like 2 or 3 more videos on my channel. Hit them up. And yeah, if you're interested in more Sony stuff, it's also on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and see you guys in the next video.